Well,
I mean,
stay healthy,
I
buddy.
absolutely hate the cherry blossoms every year.
I think they're beautiful too.
So anyway, we got David Wilcox calling in. Has he called in yet?
He's on the line, buddy. Good morning, David.
George, I'm here. Good morning, Russ.
Okay, David, I'm sorry.
Florida.
David is I put it out on the notice. He's not the advisor now. He's the president and the CEO of Evolution Metals.
Really? Was that a coronavirus promotion or just because you deserved it?
Well, here's the
something like
deal.
that.
If we haven't figured out, everybody now knows that we can't depend on China for anything.
All right.
So, David, take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, this applies to what we're working on at Evolution Metals. We're focusing on with the top administration and the government at the moment, creating a secure, robust, and reliable supply chain for the United States and our allies. These things that when I was on the radio program with you guys before, that are on our cell phones, that are in our aerospace and defense technology, et cetera, just China has absolutely ran us over. They're in complete and total control of so many things that the administration is focused on bringing back, and our focus is bringing back jobs and manufacturing capabilities while supporting a transition to a green economy.
And we're talking about rare metals, and a lot of people don't know what that is, but China supplies most of it, and it's lithium batteries, cell phone technology, a lot of stuff we need rare metals, but we just really don't produce it except in China, really. Why is that?
Well, the Chinese have got a very specific strategy of subsidizing the market, with a focus in these rare metals. And by doing that, they've put a lot of the mining industry in bankruptcy.
Right.
So then you have the situation like we have in oil today, where the Saudis are flooding the market and bankrupting our U.S. shale industry. I believe gas in some places in the United States of America fell to under $1 for the first time in a very long time. You could say that's really good for when you're at the pumps, but it doesn't last very long when the industry can't support itself, and then gas could go to $10 a gallon.
So you're getting more attention now because of the the recent revelations that we rely on China for our medicines, rely on China for things that actually support our economy and support our security.
Well, absolutely, Russ. I mean, it goes down to the F-35s. It goes down to our GPS missile technology. Anything for aerospace and defense, without these critical minerals, we're not actually able to fully manufacture the product here domestically. So what we're focused on at Evolution Metals is bringing that entire supply chain in a vertical way back into the United States. And when I say that, there's certain things that we don't have in the ground in North America, in terms of the levels that you need to bring economies of scale. So I take, the Ring of Fire areas in the Congo have higher concentrations of cobalt and nickel than what we have domestically in our states. So we've got to form alliances. We've got to focus on this as a world initiative, and we've got to make sure that we don't have a supply chain nightmare as we do today with one country controlling the entire supply chain.
So you're not really advocating a lot of extra mining in the United States. And I know it's expensive here. There's roadblocks. There's EPA requirements. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on that make the type of mining you need to do tough, does it not?
Yeah, there's a couple of things, Russ, and it's a very good point. You're focused on economics, right? I'm a financier by background. And if you start with, let's just call it a 1% grade in the United States, if you could find it, of cobalt, but yet you start in the Congos of a 30% grade or a 25% grade of cobalt, you have to turn over so much more earth to be able to get to the same starting point. And you're just never going to be where the Chinese are the most active in these markets, or where the economics are the most favorable. And we've got to focus on that. I've been focusing on Washington with George, with others, to make sure we're bringing that awareness to everyone across the country and to the right individuals within the government.
How do you protect your?
Now, David, you have basically a new kind of process for doing this with sonograms instead of using acids to get this stuff out of the ground. But more importantly, we've also talked to how we can go after all these old mining areas, clean it up, and take these rare earths that weren't looked for the first time from gold or silver mines or whatever, coal mines. Go on to that, would you?
Yeah, it's a good point, George. I mean, we're focused on calling the oil guys bad guys. And when I say we, I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about certain individuals in the government that are focusing on green transitions from coal, from different products that are in our everyday lives. And what we need to be focusing on is making those products more efficient and bringing those economies to scale, and not focus on killing jobs, but focusing on a smooth transition into a green environment using technology and the capabilities that the American people have to do this in the smartest, most intelligent way of extracting these minerals and bringing as much as we can back domestically. But when we can't do it domestically, we need to do it environmentally friendly with these technologies in friendly nations.
Another question is that, China has used some practices to put miners out of business. In other words, it's a huge investment for you to open up these mines, tremendous amounts of money. And then China can undercut the prices for a while and put them out of business. What do you have in safeguards to make sure that doesn't continue to happen?
Well, Russ, it's a fantastic point. I would punt the question back at you. What are we doing from safeguarding our oil industry with U.S. shale at the moment? It's the same issue. The Saudis are absolutely flooding the markets. They're openly doing it. They're in collusion with the Russians. And it's really, really impacting so many things in our economy, on top of it, a time where we're in a national crisis with coronavirus.
Right.
So what can we do? We can make everyone aware. We can focus on having reserves and making sure that we can subsidize the industry when we need to, but we really need to focus on economies of scale.
But you said something important there, subsidize the economy, and I think everybody recognizes that the oil is necessary for us to be energy independent. We talk about it all the time. We talk about how it protects our country for security-wise, national defense. We don't really talk about the metals you just talked about and those concepts. Most people wouldn't even know what they are. They don't even know why we have them. So it's not going to get the same appeal emotionally, and that appeal, as we know, drives politics.
Absolutely, Russ. And I think that our media focuses on all of the wrong things, but that's not the point of the conversation today. The president is doing every single thing he can to issue executive orders around these rare earth metals and critical minerals. There's huge amounts of people tasked with on both sides of the party. There's Joe Manchin, and there's Republicans. Marco Rubio was talking about rare earth metals just a couple of days ago, and the lithium, as you pointed out, there's medicines, there's all sorts of applications to these things, and we just have to make sure that the American public is aware of the crisis that's going on before it becomes a situation that's irreversible.
Well, David, if you're getting recognition from the administration as recognizing, that's more than you've ever used to happen with these metals.
Oh, absolutely, because people are realizing if you want to bring manufacturing back, if you're missing one piece of the component to put together the cell phone, if you're missing the tantalum, you can't finish the process.
Right.
So you have a supply chain breakdown, and that's a major issue.
Now, you mentioned some of the foreign countries where there's great opportunities. How long before you can really spool up and make them producers?
So we have a group of advisors at our company that is working on this on a daily basis. The previous ambassador to the Dominican Republic, Ambassador Hans Hertel, is very focused in the Ring of Fire and countries like Brazil, Guatemala, Haiti, et cetera, where there are very high grades of these metals. And we're focused on creating joint ventures and alliances with these countries where we can vertically integrate the supply chain from the ground all the way to the delivery to the manufacturers of Apple and Tesla for the batteries, or battery manufacturer Panasonic, et cetera. So I think that answers your question.
Well, and I guess I was looking for a time frame. What do you really suspect is a time frame before you start making substantial deliveries?
Well, it's a difficult question because as George was mentioning, there's permitting processes,
right.
There's politics involved. There's certain countries that are subsidizing more. Certain countries that are subsidizing less. There's a new government in Guatemala that seems to be very pro-mining, although I can't speak to them. We've all got to work together to realize this is better for the world if we work together than work against each other.
Well, the sooner the better, because I don't think our relationship with China is on the upswing of positiveness. I think we're finding more ways to be negative, and the more cards they hold that they can hurt us with, it makes me more nervous.
I think it makes the American public more nervous, and the president is bringing awareness to everyone over how many things they actually control now. Yeah.
It's been a lot. Well,
also, one of the things I'm kind of proud about here, David's company is moving forward with using carbon credits from these companies that were making a lot of money in shale or fracking or whatever else, rather than buying carbon credits in Brazil or something like that. They would go into Appalachia and put miners back to work cleaning up the old mines, which is they can't teach these people to code. They can do this better. David, why don't you give us a little bit on that?
Well, it's a very good point, George, and absolutely we're focused on jobs, and the coal industry is an example. Within coal ash, there are rare earth metals. They're just in fly ash and asbestos. There's rare earth metals in these mines that are kind of they've been abandoned. The jobs have been abandoned, et cetera. And through the use of technology and the focus on the green environment, there are ways to extract things that are at our doorstep that we can use in all sorts of different applications across businesses in the United States.
George, I'm running out of time, my friend.
David, thank you very much for coming on. And we'll keep us apprised because of the fact that as we move more and more industries back into the United States and away from foreign countries that are not exactly our friends, we're going to need you.
Absolutely.
Everyone stay safe, quarantined, and socially distant.
We will. Thank you, buddy. George, thank you so much, man. Take care. Bye. And I'll be right back. AM 560.